Happy Friday. Hey, Otagon. Hey, Fusionist. How's it going? Happy Friday, y'all. Congrats on finishing your Stream Team Pirate Jam game. Otagon. Bit Slayer. Looks awesome. Looks so good. Let's see if I can get some footage of that out here. I know you posted a bunch. Player of Bits, you made a trailer. How's it going? It's going good, Fusionist. How are you? Is this the trailer? At the risk of destroying our audio setup, let's try to get our system sound going. Here we go. That is the wrong audio source. Hold on, I got this. Please spare your bits. Oh, yeah, let's see what happens to my bit rate. This is the bit slayer. You made it destroy the bit rate less. I love this. I love the way the weapon swings wildly around as you move it. I love that. We did this in what, like a couple of days? Like 3 days or something? I remember you started really late. Yeah. Oh, man. This is so rad. Is there gonna be a score chaser soon for this and whatever else we got out of the pirate / stream team jam? Love how well those two jams overlapped for us. Kind of lucky us. Like it's like we're like some Fremen who managed to hook on to the great Shai Halud, and we're just along for the ride. The animations look great. Yeah, this all looks amazing. Oh, that's cool. That one was like armored and you had to hit it a bunch of times. There's enough interest in one could be run. I mean, this one seems great. I haven't seen much of the other ones. I did see the one by the Backhand Bandit. Backhand Bandit looked good. That's the one by Tunity Nerds and Average Goob. Jam. This one. I want to play this one. This one looks great. Audio seems a little low, maybe. Oh, that clip's not supposed to be there. Oops. Time to re-export. Well, that's what we're here for. But this looks great. This one's 2 Ninja Nerds and the average goob. It's like a pinball game. I love how their initial one they just bungled. Pretty great. So it's like a bomb and you can like knock it somewhere and then shoot it and it like breaks up the map so you can get farther up. Pretty interesting pinball take. Oh, they must have made this in a hurry. This is like hilarious. Not the game obviously, but like the trailer. There we go. But yeah, I want to try this one as well. What a fun concept. A blocked off pinball table that you have to clear. Oh man, the little knock-on TNT effects are so good. Man, love this. Fusionist, you probably said it already, but what jam was this? You'd assume GMTK? No, I think it's so I'm in the indie game developer stream team, and we kind of did a jam that happened to overlap with the pirate jam, so a lot of people are doing like both. So it's like the pirate software jam and also like a indie game developer's stream team jam. Hey, Scotty Flops. How's it going? Broheart, aka Lil Flex. Is that what we're calling you now? Oh, they got it. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, this is so cool. And they did 2 extra levels. They did a bank heist level and a yeah, they did a bank heist level and a saloon level. That's so great. But they took the full like 2 weeks. Not like Adagon's incredible achievement in like 3 days by himself. That's great. But yeah, there's some great games coming out. Bit Slayer by Adagon is great. Link it in here. And Backhand Bandit. Yeah, super good. I didn't participate. You ready to make so many bit jokes, Adagon? Nice. Bad Cop was here yesterday and was like, tried to recruit me for their Big Mo Jam game. And I was like, I would love to. I feel so behind, both in my day job and like on this game. I just like don't know when the next time I'm going to jam is. It's probably going to be LD57 if it ends up happening. And D2 Jam. Definitely going to do D2 Jam whenever that happens. Subcontract your day job out. I'm getting there, bro heart. I actually just finished, well, I'm working on, but I've largely finished an automation that fills out like hundreds of forms for me, like automatically. And it uses those forms to fill out other forms. So like I'm subcontracting my job to myself, to my automation department. So I'm working on it, but like there's still a lot of work left to go. Make that totally doable. That's just Lil Iliad. Lil Iliad, that's fun to say. All right, so what are we doing right now? I think what we were trying to do is we were thinking about our undo redo system. And I had a hard time yesterday because I was conflating my undo redo system with my replay system, with like replaying the game through the inputs that we've recorded. I feel like that is a separate thing, and that I'm just going to put to the side. And we're going to focus down on undo redos. Input output. So we have command. I also want like what I want is an act. So we're going to make a new struct. Going to be called an act. Not action, because system already has an action. But so we have CMD, we have command for stuff that, for inputs that we record. I'm going to have acts, which are like outputs that we're going to record. I think that's how I've decided we're going to do it. And so we'll record an act for each thing that actually affects the output. Lil Lily. That's pretty good. Especially if you do it all lowercase. Adagon, there's a lack of streams for pirate software. There's basically only been Proxy. That's so weird. That's so weird. Oh no, Adagon. You put them all uppercase. Sans serif is like, oh no, you didn't. You mixed and matched. You mixed and matched. Lowercase L's, uppercase I's. That is horrible. Sans serif, uppercase I is the bane of my existence. Hey, Ryson, I see you. I see you on YouTube. Sorry, I didn't say hi yet. We're in like jam mode over on Twitch. We're jamming it out. Yeah, that's weird. I haven't really done a pirate software jam because mainly I don't do game design docs. And I don't like really long game jams. The combination of the which is like seems like a recipe for disaster for me. All right, so what do we want to record in our acts, our quote unquote acts? We want to record what kind of act it was. We want to record where it was. Are we gonna just record them? It seems stupid to record them as a array of strings like we do with command. Because command is an array of strings because it's coming across from the GD side, but I guess it's also because it's very flexible in what it contains. So maybe we do the same thing here, because then I can just parse it through contextually the same way we parse the commands. That's probably not the best thing to do, but I think it would work. It's like, this is our command. Command is a class, which is rough. I guess the act would also then need to be a class if it's going to have an array of strings. I guess it doesn't really need an array of strings. It could just have one long string, but I don't think that actually is an improvement. I think that just makes parsing more confusing. Like the first thing we do is just parse the string into like an array of strings anyway. Adagon, you have a link to a Rickroll in your design document? Hell yeah. That's pretty funny. Can I do the increment and the decrement here in the conditional? Is an increment, if I did like a post increment of like, or pre increment, if I did something like, oh no, I guess I would just say step plus plus. I could even do plus plus step. Plus plus step is greater than. I guess it's equal, it's not greater than. Is greater than args.length, is equal to args.length. Or maybe we'd say just greater than or equals to. Then I don't have to do this separate step plus 1 equals 1. So we'd say less than 0. I'm going to say took the command out of range. How's everyone doing today? I had some coffee this morning. I had this big deadline today that I've mostly reached. I'm mostly finished. I gotta wrap it up when I get back after the stream. But man, I am tired. So if I'm a little quiet, if I'm a little slow, that's just because I am tired. All right, so we basically kind of want to do the same thing for act as we do for command. Why are you a partial class? What do you have? Oh, you have a list of args. I want to share this list of args. With the act, but I guess that's fine. We can just call it, we can just reference a command.arg. Because if we replay an act backwards, I guess that's the question. We need to interpret an act as if it's a command, because we need to play back whatever the command was that created the act. I wonder how we handle a command that causes multiple acts. I don't know how we're going to do that. But I don't really need to think about that right now. So I'm actually just going to start copying stuff over. I mean, I guess an act could just reference a command, couldn't it? It actually doesn't need its own thing. And then we could have some additional information. Depends on if we want to send it through a similar process. I don't know. I actually could go a couple of ways on this. So like, let's go through a hypothetical, and then maybe it'll be more clear what we want to do. Oh, also my audio is different, so please give me feedback if my audio sounds weird, like if it's overly compressed or quiet or weird. Because I made a huge mistake this morning. I installed version 2.0 of the NVIDIA broadcast software, which broke sound removal or noise removal. So my GPU noise removal just wasn't doing anything. So I quickly shunted in a CPU noise removal plugin into my Wavelink audio software. So we're doing CPU noise removal. So hopefully it's not too weird. Thanks, NVIDIA. Putting out a big 2.0 and somehow breaking the only part of your software that I care about. And also taking up all my GPU utilization as well, somehow, even though you're not doing anything. Someone on the stream team was showing how much overhead, GPU overhead NVIDIA Broadcast uses while doing nothing, and it's kind of insane. And now they added a little utilization widget where you can see how much it's utilizing. It's like an insane amount for basically accomplishing nothing. So appreciate it, Fusionist. Thank you for confirming that it's at least acceptable. All right, so we're going through the hypothetical of Fusionist. You said you were doing sound effects work and then music. I would love to hear some of that stuff sometime. I don't know if you're in the Discord. And Fusionist, NVIDIA gave you audio buffer generation something. NVIDIA, give me audio buffer generation or something. Guess what I'll say next? Yeah. That'd be funny. You are? Okay, yeah, I'd love to hear some of the little snippets of sound stuff you're doing. I need to get into digital audio stuff, and I haven't done it yet because of a lack of time. So I'm going to be very interested in that stuff very soon. I want to get some practice in before the next round of game jams that I might do. Yeah, you are. All this work is culminating towards a demo launch in 2 weeks. You're probably showing it all off then. Oh, yeah, sure. That sounds good. Whenever you're ready. I'm excited to see it. So what we're going to kind of do, if we receive, feel like my tab system is always getting messed up. Don't need main system right now or test system. Or ABB or vector 3i. Or the view system. Here's an interesting thing. Does the view system, are outputs dependent on the current view? Do I need to keep track of the view when I'm doing these things? I think the answer is no. While the tile system cares about the current game view, the tool system should not. Let me make sure that's true. View. Okay, we have no references to the word view in the tool system. That's good. So the view system is agnostic, which is great because the tool system is view agnostic, which is good. Because it should be. It should be editing the underlying canonical representation of everything. That doesn't care about like where the camera is currently. Fusionist, oh, if you're ever curious about that, you're always glad to help. I appreciate that. I found a couple pieces of software that I'm interested in trying for making soundscapes. Let me see what some of them are. I'm interested in trying out Ardour, how we pronounce that. And also maybe Bespoke, which is weird. And I don't know if I'll like it because I don't usually like visual scripting style things like graph node stuff, but I'm interested in trying some of that stuff. I don't know if Bespoke is actually useful for making anything. It seems like more of a jamming software for like making a soundscape or something. But I think for a sci-fi ambience kind of thing, it could be cool. And then Arger, I think, is more of like a typical DAW that I could use for stuff. Oh yeah, totally. Those are both good. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. I spent a little while looking at what I might want to try, and those two stood out to me as something interesting. But I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. I got a little MIDI keyboard right next to my desk that my partner lent me. Never hooked it up. But I am ready. I'm ready to try it. just this little thing, but like I'm excited to try to make something, make some sounds. Yeah, you like this one? The Akai MPK Mini? Awesome. Yeah, my partner accidentally bought an extra one. Just gave it to me. Fusionist, do I know if you'll be going for dynamic audio, Fmod type stuff and whatnot? I don't know. I would like to explore it. I would like to explore that kind of thing. Because if this is a turn-based game, which is the direction I'm heading in, then we have time to do cool transitions and stuff based on what seems to be happening during the turn. You were close to purchasing it. You went with the LPK 25, which is even smaller. Now you rock a Mini Lab 3, which is bigger. Okay, so you have a smaller one and a bigger one. That's dope. Yeah, I would really love to make some time for that. I love music. I can only play a couple of instruments, a few instruments, and I don't practice ever. But I actually need to do some recording soon because I've got on the back burner a remastered version of my first jam game in Godot, and that involves some like shanties I recorded. Got to re-record them with additional instrumentation. I want to do that soon too. You're not up to date on how good the Fmod integration is. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I think it's passable, but we'll see. Let you know when I do. Hell yeah, I'll definitely share it when I get some of that stuff. I need to do some more things that are like visually shareable and like make good GIFs or like sound clips or like I need to generate a little bit more media because like I never post on like B Sky or anything, and I need to start sharing more stuff like YouTube Shorts and like B Sky posts. And I want to do little things like that, like audio samples, like little visual GIFs of like our auto tiler. And you start making little more bits of content to like draw people in who aren't just watching the live stream. All right. So if I were, so here we were in our edit system. The edit system processes the initial set of edit commands. So it'll process something like an undo or redo. And so this system probably needs to figure out what was the content of our last act. And then it needs to shove that into, it needs to somehow get that back into the queue. Or it needs to run through a separate system. We can either resend like the command or the inverse of the command if it's undo versus redo. Or we could just essentially increment the index in the act history and then send and then forward the undo or redo command down to the system that would handle it. That's probably what we'll do. So then down in the tool system, we'll have, so we have eraser, hover, place, select. We'll basically have a undo and a redo as well. And then the undo will just look at the current act on the stack of acts, and it will undo that act and move us back up one on the move the index back up one. So I guess we need to keep track of where the index is. So here in the output list, we can have like somewhere I need to store the actual index. We can have a list of acts. Who's going to keep track of this? As far as where we're at. I guess for now, I can just put it in the system that's going to process it, which is only this system for now. So we could say like, call it like the history index or something like that. Call it the act index. Act, I don't know, act, history, index. Makes sense that it's on here because we're going to increment it. I don't need to initialize it. We need to do some things. We need to make sure that an act encompasses all the information you need to execute the act. Like we need to record the, if we're adding something to the block, we need to record the whole block. Oh, this is complicated actually because we have hidden blocks. So we actually need to know, I know I could just do the command pattern. Like I could just do a full implementation of the command pattern. I don't love that because traditionally if you're using it for undo and redo here, you end up storing a shit ton of stuff. So where does he talk about? I mean, their whole pattern is like storing functionality directly in the class, which I don't want to do. That's kind of not the direction. That's not our ethos. We have like an ECS ethos, which I guess doesn't have to extend to input and output. Input and output could use a traditional command pattern. And in fact, it probably should, because it would be easier. So maybe we actually do end up doing that. And so the first time you run through, you do like your execute. And you set, here it's keeping track of the state from beforehand. So that if you do an undo, you can basically just execute the move in reverse. Problem is storing all of this previous state. Because like if we place down, I mean, what we could do is we could actually just store the diff. Rather than storing the command that got us here, we could actually just store the state diff. Like we could store the Yeah, we could do something like that. I might think about doing it this way or doing it a slightly different way. Our problem is that when we're done with a placement, we have all these blocks that we hid, and we get rid of this record of the hidden blocks. But instead of getting rid of it, we could honestly just turn it into a list and store it. I mean, I guess we could also just store the dictionary itself. Or make a copy or something. How do we want to do this? We could do a copy too. So we could take the hidden blocks, copy them to an array, to two arrays, one array of like their locations and another array of their values. We could store those on the act. I actually think that's probably the most straightforward way to do this, considering our system, our current systems. And then I don't have to care about much. I can just say, okay, this act hid these blocks. And then I don't even actually need to know what was placed there. I only need to know what was hidden because the act of undoing it. Well, no, I guess I do need to keep track of what was placed there. No, I don't. I can just refer to the hidden blocks. No, I do need to keep track of what was placed there. Because if we redo it, I need to know what we're hiding. So I'm tempted to store active blocks or pending blocks or whatever you want to call it. Pheasant SC2 subscribing at tier 1. You subscribe for 5 months. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Pheasant SC2. Thanks for beaming up. Have a great stream. Appreciate it. All right. Honestly, we don't even need to. We can skip one of these arrays. Because the active blocks and the hidden blocks actually should have the same key collection. Is that true? It might be a little... Actually, that might not be true. I can think of some weird edge cases if we're allowed to change things. If we're allowed to change blocks or change regions of blocks. Like, let's say you have a 2x2 block thing, and then you change a quarter of it. You change like one corner of it. But because you change one corner of it, the other 3 corners have to change too. And so the other 3 corners might not be considered part of the active block list. They'd be only considered part of the hidden block list because we're not actively placing down blocks there. We just happen to hide these blocks. I don't know. It's actually a good question. Maybe we would need to store that as well. We actually can't handle that functionality, so I guess we don't care. Appreciate that, Pheasant. We're trying to put in a few hours a day. We're trying to put 3 hours a day on stream. Try to do a little bit off stream too, but it's not every day. I think tomorrow we're going to try to do some like design analysis on like turn-based tactics games and like thinking about some of the elements that we like and dislike. So I've been playing some turn-based tactics games and I'm coming to the conclusion that I don't like most of them. I don't like a lot about them. And I need to play some more and then kind of to try to work through my thoughts on them. It'll be a fun stream. Yeah, I kind of want to do that tomorrow. If I can like sleep in and like feel energized about it and stuff. I should honestly play some more tactics games. I was playing Rogue Trader the other night and serendipitously, what's it called? Tactical Breach Wizards just went on sale. I picked that up yesterday. I haven't gotten to play it yet, but I'm kind of excited to try Tactical Breach Wizards. We're violating a lot of the standards when it comes to what someone should do for a tactical turn-based game or turn-based tactics game. So we have to think about that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start copying out. We also want to record. The first thing, let's start to record the active blocks that we're using. Like the blocks that we're actively placing. We're doing this. I know we don't have to at the moment. We could just say, like we could just record the block tool. But I want to handle situations where we like pick up a room and move it and put it back down, in which case we're changing an area. We're not really like affecting a block tool per se. We're capturing an area and moving the area, potentially moving an entire volume, not just an area. And that's interesting. So I need to address a couple of things. One is that when we're doing a block placement, right now we're not doing anything the first frame that the placement occurs. And we need to, because what happens if a placement only happens for a single frame? Like you manage to click once, and so it registers the beginning of a placement, and then it skips straight to the end without hitting continue. So I need to add to this a little bit, and I need to do it at least an initial placement. I think the easiest way to do that is to do like this. So we can skip this. I think we can skip this. Because if we're hovering, whatever block we're hovering over, this has already occurred. This whole, we've revealed the previous preview block and we're creating a new one. In which case, We don't need to do that again. We already have a block there. So all we really need to do is record that we have a block there and that we've placed a block there. So we could actually just say active blocks towards equals active block tool. I mean, I guess for now that's okay. And then when we do a hover, are we recording a hidden block? Let me check to make sure we're doing this in erase block at, and okay, we're doing that here. Actually, that's where I should do it. I shouldn't do it here. I should go here and I should I need to say block equals this. I need to actually keep the block because I need to record it. We can say span index equals block. And I also need to say active blocks dot. Do we want to do a triad? No. Yes? Why am I doing triad everywhere? Oh, it's so I don't accidentally change it. Let's go with triad because that's what we're doing elsewhere. Triad coords block. So we need to do the same thing here. Right? We're actually going to deprecate erase block at and only ever do erase blocks in. As soon as we can support block tools that are larger than a single block. Like as soon as you can place blocks down that are like selections of blocks or like whole areas. For now, we'll keep this functionality. We could actually move over to the other system immediately. We just need to make a new bounds. We just need to make a bounds that consists of a single area. We'll do that. We'll do that soon. Place block at. So here we're going to do the same thing. Wonder if eventually we'll get rid of the distinction between placing and erasing. It's like invert the block we're submitting for it. Smart fill is like kind of smart. The autocomplete the writers got nowadays. Kind of enjoying it. That was like exactly what I want to write. Like easier than copying and pasting it almost. Occasionally it's very wrong. But it's actually doing quite a good job. Allocating a block here is not ideal. I guess we actually don't need to do that, do we? We could just say this. We actually don't need to allocate a block. We've got a ref to the span. Just say span index. I would like to keep allocations in the loop down to nothing if possible. especially since the system was yelling at us yesterday about inner loop allocations. Not inner loop allocations. It was like an allocation from like for each, but it was from the part. It was the in. We were allocating whenever we did an in because we were creating like an array or something. It's kind of silly that we were doing it that way. It's very cool that Writer has all these tools to let you know about your memory management. This is better. Better. I'm so used to like the pattern of like getting something out of an array, assigning it, or assigning a value to it, and then putting it back. But I love spans because with spans you don't need to do that. With spans you can just operate directly on the memory itself. Brace blocks in calls for the span. Yeah, I wanna get rid of the uses of these. I'm gonna put this as a to-do. To-do. Deprecate in favor of come on, buddy. C-ref. Can I put a C-ref in here? Is that how it is? C. Forgot how this worked. I guess that's kind of pointless to put that in a comment. That's not a document comment. C-ref. I want to see what it happened, what it does. C-ref. This probably won't do anything. I'm just curious. No, that doesn't do anything. Of course it doesn't do anything. We need to be a documentation comment, maybe. I guess because it's a to-do, it doesn't do anything. Oh, it need to be in the summary. Favor of erase blocks in. Below. Also want to deprecate this one. I want to move away from anything that affects a single block. I'd rather do like batch stuff. This isn't really batch stuff. We're still for eaching through, but we need to do that. At least this way we're not allocating a span every time we call this thing. Not allocating, getting the casting a span. So we have reveal blocks. Why isn't it reveal blocks in? It should be called reveal non-overlapping blocks or something like that, but I have a few functions I want to deprecate. Does bounds handle its IE numerator? Oh, totally fine. It just allocates an index and then goes through the index. I guess an act isn't going to be a struct. It's going to be a sealed class. The reveal inactive block. So the reveal block stuff, this should all be fine. I wonder if I should rename read write to just span versus read only span. Go to buffer. Right now we call it read only and read write. I guess that's fine. It tells you that it returns a read only span. Get read only buffer, get read write buffer. Quiet day today, huh? I like that. It's raining outside. It's been raining all day. Supposed to rain tonight too. I guess the rain's let up for now. Hope it picks back up. I enjoy it a lot. We got ads. Oh, we're in the midst of ads. Switch sides, so we're just chilling for a second. Not that I was making a lot of progress anyway. So now we're recording the active blocks when we do either an erasure, or a placement. The only time we don't is if we do a reveal. Is that correct? I think so. Because there's no reference to the active block when we do a reveal. So now we're doing that. I think that's the only thing we need to do. So the only trick here I need to do something here in this command. I need to set the active I need to say, I guess you do that here, don't you? So this will cover. So revealing the block will clean up the hidden blocks dictionary. I need to also clean up the active blocks dictionary. The problem is we're using this all the time. I guess when we restore a block in the hidden blocks dictionary, we should remove it from the active blocks dictionary as well. Because we've no longer overwritten the hidden block. The hidden block is reasserting itself over the active block. It doesn't become the active block. Just deletes both of them. So let's just do that. I think that's correct. If it's not correct, we'll very soon find out. If there's a 1-to-1 ratio between the hidden blocks and the active blocks, we could merge these dictionaries into one thing. And it would just be one thing that stores both the block that was there and the block that's there now. And if anything, we could actually swap the coords with a bound. That would be way better. To swap it with a bounding volume instead of a bunch of individual. In which case, it wouldn't even be a dictionary anymore. It would just be a single value. We could just call it like, we could just, yeah, we could do some interesting things. I think I like that a lot better. All right, let's see if I broke anything. We're probably going to be trying to like remove something from a dictionary that doesn't exist. This is not good, whatever this is. Oh, okay. A little while to start up. What is this visual artifact I'm saying here? Something super weird happening. There's like this line work. There's this distortion of the line work. I don't know what that is. That's not happening anywhere else. Oh no, it's happening right in here. What's going on here? This is new. Oh, it's happening everywhere. Do I have my new NVIDIA graphics driver to thank for this? Only happening in Godot. Why did I update both my broadcast version and my graphics driver like minutes before a stream? Never do that. Never do either of those things. Yeah, that's weird. There's some graphical fidelity issue here. It goes away if I know it. It goes away sometimes. But what is this? Probably hard to see on stream, but there's all these weird, I don't know what to call them. This weird line stuff. I guess after the stream, I got to try to revert my graphics driver version. Super weird. Anyone else see this? Those weird line stuffs are called pixels. Thanks, Fox Shadow. Oh, do you see this? Do you see what's going on here? What is this? What are these little thin, like... weird inversions. He's like, I can't get them to show up all the time. I've never seen these before. I swear they're here. Here, it's really easy to see on this. What the hell is that? Oh, you probably... Oh, no, you can't even see them on the stream. I'm telling you, there's something super weird happening here. Looks almost like anti-aliasing. It's not. It's like... So whenever there's two lines in parallel of two different colors, it's just shaving off the edges of each one and like overlap. It's doing this very strange thing. It's almost doing this. Like... So it's like, let's just take two colors. Get a line. So we have one line of a color here, and then we'll just, I don't know, pick a good opposite color. One line here, and this is what it's doing. Like, what the shit is this? Like... The filter, do you see it when fully zoomed out though? The thing is, I mean, there's no such thing as fully zoomed out here. The problem is I see it when we run this. I see it here. I don't know what the hell this is. That's fine. After the stream, I'm just gonna roll back my graphics driver and see if that was it. I don't need the new driver. I don't have a 5080 or 5090. Super weird, whatever's going on here. But how are you doing, Fox Shadow? Oh yeah, that's grotesque. You can totally see that. Oh yeah, you can. It is almost like an anti-aliasing. It makes everything look horrible. What the F is that? It's totally this weird effect. Oh well, whatever. Fine. My game will just look like trash for the duration of the stream. It looks like it's trying to blur the two colors together. Yeah, it is. It's trying to do it very weirdly in a very specific case. It's like...
Most illogical.
Most illogical. Yeah, two nerdy nerds. Do you see this shit? What is going on here? It's doing this thing at the boundaries between two colors. It's like blurring them like this. It's actually not doing this. It's like doing... like doing half of this. It's not creating two lines. It's only creating one line. How do I get it to only make one line? Yeah, it's like this. This over. Doing this. Like, what is that? What kind of distortion is this? I was trying to get an audio sound effects to play.
What in the name of heaven is this?
That's my bone sound effect. Fresh repo time. All I did was update my graphics drivers before the stream started. I think I may need to start over ECS and all. I think you're right. I actually was thinking about this the other day, and I wrote the ECS for this game when I thought this game was going to be real time, because I was like, there's going to be so much going on. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be like updating this, and all these things are going to be going on every frame because it's real time. And now I'm like, if this game is turn based, I don't need like 70% of this. And I'm like, well, that's fine. That's fine. It'll still be good to have this for things like the auto tiling systems and stuff, some other stuff. But I was like, man, I did prematurely optimize my game. That we knew that's what we were doing when we got into it anyway. So whatever. It's so weird. NVIDIA options? No way. Turn end will go real quick though. Yeah. No, it's more. There's stuff that'll be happening in the background that I think will be really good, like effects that propagate throughout the grid, which is like the auto tiler is the main effect that we have that propagates throughout the grid rapidly. But we're also there will also be things like oxygen or like fire, like things that like spread volumetrically. That'll be pretty good to have that system for. And also simulating stuff that's not on screen. That's the best thing it's going to be for. Like simulating stuff happening in the background. NVIDIA options? Yeah, I don't know. I'm rolling back after this. I don't know what the fuck is going on here, but it looks really bad, especially when I run the project here. Looks all anti-aliased and gross. Also, we need to clean this up, whatever this is. Whatever's causing this. This bug keeps coming back and I keep slaying it. I think this happens when we move more than one frame. When the input like doesn't register. I think it happens when we are moving diagonally because we're No, that doesn't make sense. It also can happen really slowly. I don't know what this is. We're like leaving debris behind. I swear I fixed this. Okay, well, we need to fix this. It also doesn't happen when we go left to right. It only happens when we go right to left. What does that mean? I swear I fixed something like this before. Is it just Godot, though? Sometimes you notice things in certain programs more, but it's really happening everywhere. No, it seems to be just Godot. I mean, I don't know. I haven't run a 3D program besides Godot. Like, I would need to run... Like, it's not happening on web pages or, like... I don't know. Maybe it's Godot. It wasn't happening yesterday. Maybe it's an interaction between Godot and the graphics driver. I don't know what it is. Got a bunch of weird problems today. Oh, Tune In Your Nerds, congrats on finishing Backhand Bandits. We were watching the trailer when I first started the stream. That looks so awesome. I'm very excited to try it. Can't believe you made like 3 levels for it. Cool, very cool pinball idea. The idea that you have to break open the level is like awesome. That combined with like the ability to shoot the bombs is like so good. I hope you get a lot of attention for that. That's a great one. I don't know what else I could test this on besides just like straight up launching a game. I don't really want to do right now. I could try one of my other games. I could try 4.3, 4.3 stable. Zoom in and out on those websites and look carefully at the lines. Yeah, I think if it was happening, I'd be able to. It's not even happening here. I think it's like a in-engine issue. Although I don't know. We'll see. I'm opening up a mini delivery.
Maximum warp.
No Jewel redeem maximum warp. Thank you, No Jewel. Why are we re-importing our assets? What happened? I swear we were on 4.3. It doesn't seem to be happening here. Oh no, it totally is. Look. Look at what's happened to my boy. Look at what look what they've done to my boy. What the F is going on? Yeah, this is an NVIDIA graphics driver thing. This is insane. I'm gonna roll back to the last version. Look what they've done to my beautiful boy. Oh, this is horrible. Sorry if that's insanely loud. Okay, that's weird. Weird that I can't see it here, but whatever. Just retro. Thanks, Tuner Nerds. No, you did well with Backhand Bandit. Yeah, some sort of blurring effect, most noticeable between two starkly different colors. Yes, it's doing exactly this. Whenever there's a straight line of two different colors, it's taking a slim edge of the other color and inserting it and like mixing the two exactly like this so that there's this stark intermix between them. I don't know what it is, but it's very strange. That's fine. We need to figure out why some things are happening. I mean, I'm happy to keep blaming NVIDIA for my problems, but I've definitely got some of my own problems right here. I don't think you blame NVIDIA for all your problems too. Yeah. That's crazy. I don't know what's going on. First, my NVIDIA broadcast breaks. And now my NVIDIA graphics driver is doing me in. This was not a good release. They're clearly shook by DeepSeek. I don't think they're really putting their all into it. Yeah, you blame NVIDIA for your red NVIDIA stock. I mean, so how could this be causing problems? bounds.overlaps. We do this. Yeah. Lamp. Block eraser mode, do this. Otherwise, place blocks in. This. If not bounds, dot encloses. So if we don't fully enclose prior bounds, then we need to reveal inactive blocks. Prior bounds equals bounds. Get non-overlapping. Am I passing the correct boundaries when I'm calling this? Reveal inactive. Yeah, prior bounds, current bounds, buffer. There is no reason we should be observing what we're observing. But obviously we're observing it, so like... And I feel like I've made this a lot worse. Why does it only happen when we're going from the x-axis being higher over here? Why is it only happening when we go from right to left? Why don't we observe it going from left to right? What's the difference between the two? When we go from left to right, our maximum... No, our maximum's the same. This is very strange. Why are we leaving all this detritus? But only in one direction. Oh, it's left to right now. Because it was right to left. So it was right. It's right to left when the anchor is the minimum. And it's left to right when the anchor is the maximum point. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know what that means yet, but it means something. I know we're supposed to be working on undo redo. Not this, but I want to figure out why we're like shedding blocks when we like do that move. I need like a debug tool to help me. I need to like write to like a texture or write to like an image where the blocks are. So I can like, no, I guess I don't need to do that. I trust that we're not, I trust that the problem is here. Junior nerds, do you place individual tiles or have a rect coordinates of what you're editing? It's more on the rect. Well, we place individual tiles, but we determine where to place the tiles using two rects. We have basically every turn that we're placing tiles. We have a rect, which is like, this is where we placed tiles last time. And a new rect, which is like, this is where we're placing tiles this time. This way, if like the new rect is smaller than the old rect, we can delete all of those tiles that were part of the old rect. So that's what we should be doing. If our new rect is smaller or it's somewhere else or like doesn't cover the old rect, we should be deleting the tiles that don't overlap with the new rect. And that's kind of what this continue is all about. So it says like, as long as the new boundaries overlap with the buildable area, which is the buffers AABB, then the bounds gets clamped to be within that AABB. That shouldn't cause a problem. Now we can skip this because we're not in eraser mode. And then as long as the bounds don't fully enclose, as long as the new bounds don't fully enclose the old bounds, we're going to reveal some inactive blocks. So we pass in the old bounds and the new bounds. And then if we jump to that, we basically get every coordinate in this boundary that doesn't overlap this boundary. And that's a per vector comparison. So we go through. If the other boundary doesn't overlap this at all, we just return this full list of this boundary. That's right. Otherwise, if the other one fully encloses this boundary, we return an empty list because there are no non-overlapping coordinates. Otherwise, we go through all of them and we compare them individually. I realize I could probably eliminate entire ranks from this comparison, like columns or rows. So this could be a little faster, but I think it doesn't matter. Because this one just says, if the other does not enclose this coordinate, this set of coordinates, we add it to the list. So that should give us all of the coordinates that don't overlap the other coordinate. So I'm trusting that we're getting the right list of non-overlapping coordinates. Is there any relation with the bug and how fast you move the mouse? I think so, but I don't know so. I'm actually not sure, because we actually do a thing. Part of the input handler, so the input handler doesn't send these commands every frame. It only sends the commands when we've actually jumped to a new tile. So if we've jumped to a new tile, it sends the command. So like this, we're not sending a hover command every single frame. We're only sending it when the mouse moves to a new tile or new block. And we're doing the same thing for this. So yeah, if I go really slowly, this never happens. So I think you're right. I think it is based on speed. So I think what's happening is that we're like somehow missing something. What's interesting is if I go this way very quickly, it doesn't happen. If I recede along the y-axis very quickly, this doesn't happen. Only if I go this way quickly along the x. And actually, it's only happening, watch this. So I'm doing this. It's not happening at all. It's only happening when I'm moving diagonally. Either right to left when we're in this mode, or if I go here, it's going to be left to right. So it's diagonal movement. So I think you're right. I think we're jumping. And we're jumping in such a way that the prior boundaries aren't capturing what we've actually done. Yeah, we're doing some kind of jump. It's only happening when we're moving diagonally. Oh, look. But not this way. If we move diagonally this way, it's fine. So if we move diagonally up and down, there's no problem. It's only if we move diagonally in one direction, depending on where the anchor chords are. So if the anchor chords are on the bottom, it's left to right. If the anchor chords are on the top, it's right to left. Super weird. Very, very particular situation that's coming up that's causing this bug. Yeah, up to down motion, which I guess is not as far. I wonder what's happening here. I think we'll figure it out. Diagonally, you hover over more tiles. I don't know, though, because the distance, diagonally up to down, the distance is pretty low. But the distance diagonally side to side is much longer. So I feel like the likelihood that we're like jumping multiple tiles sideways, it's less likely that we're doing that when we're going sideways. So if anything, the opposite is happening. We're like, there's some problem because we're not crossing the tiles quickly enough or something in one direction. I don't know. This is so peculiar. All right. We're going to start from the top and go down. So starting from the top here means, God, it's doing this graphical effect even in the editor here. You can see it in a couple of things. Weird, this weird distortion. Driving me insane. So here's the interact. Let's see if there's any issues potentially here. So if we're amid an interaction, so here we're doing a check. We're checking to see if our current cursor coordinates, which is this map mouse coordinates, based on the global mouse position. So we map mouse coordinates, and to map mouse coordinates here, we say, so we get the area line layer, which is the highest visible line layer. Get child 0. That's not block volume, highest visible area, get child 0. I guess that's fine. It's not a line layer. We're actually getting the block volume then. Oh no, here we have the line layers. So we are doing the line. No, we're saying block volume, highest visible area. Area line layer got local to, oh, there's area line layer. It shouldn't matter. Which area we use. Mouse volume, mouse chords is the area line layer. So we get a local to map of the mouse position to local. So we get the mouse position into the line layer's local space. And then we get that local position into tile map space. And then we return a vector 3i of those coordinates, mouse chords.x and mouse chords.y. I don't think anything funny is happening there. If the cursor chords are not equal to the prior chords, we only record the prior chords if that's true. So we're not updating these like every frame or anything. I wonder if this is, hold on. Print event. I actually see somewhere where this could be causing us some grief, but not exactly. All right. This is going to return possibly every frame and actually might be causing us some problems. We might be, while we're continuing an interaction, we might be also beginning a new one, and that could be causing some insane things to be happening. I think that's what's happening. Because if it's recording a new interaction every frame while we're doing a current interaction, it's going to be resetting the prior bounds every frame. This is why you start at the top. This is why you start at the top. Thanks for the dinner entertainment. Time to go unwind with a TV show after the jam. You're invested in this bug now, though. Looking forward to hear what caused it. I think it's this. I think while we're trying to continue an interaction, which is like a right mouse click currently. Yeah, always at the top. Whatever the chain of actions that lead to some consequences, the bug is usually higher up than you think it is. You can't start from the bottom and work your way up because you might be here all day, but you start upstream. You start as far upstream as you can get, because I think there's a bug right here when we're reading input. Let's test that theory. But enjoy your TV dinner. Oh no, this was the after dinner entertainment. Enjoy your after dinner entertainment. So let's see. If I'm right, then doing this will lead a ton of interact calls. Yep. Oh wait, no, false. Dang it. I don't think it's this. But wait, this needs to be true at least once, right? Thought for sure this was it. Okay, well, this isn't giving us the information we want. We want to see if event is action pressed and not, okay, and not amid interaction. I'm going to see if just adding this additional screen protects us here. Nope. Okay, that wasn't it. Dang it. Thought I had it. All right, where else might this be? Oh, wait, I didn't run this in debug. There we go. Okay, so it's not erroneously beginning the input. Dang. I feel like what it is doing probably somewhere is it is probably updating prior bounds more often than we want it to. Like, I wonder what happens. I don't know. Let's keep looking. So we started upstream and now we're heading downstream until we reach the end here. Somewhere in the middle, we're going to find this bug. It'll only be like 4 or so. Yeah, it is. Okay. Not in the vector 3. Shouldn't be in the overlap. So overlap is just not. So if minimum is greater than other dot maximum, yeah, that's a problem. Or we return that, or so if minimum is greater than other dot maximum, we return not. This would be, if it was out of bounds, this would return true. What is this or doing for us here? Maximum is less than other dot minimum. So if this is true, this just returns the result of this evaluation. There are 2 evaluations. If I just change this a little bit to just say if my sanity here? So if either of these is true, turn false. Otherwise, return true. So if minimum is less than or equal to the others dot maximum and maximum is greater than or equal to the others dot minimum. Yeah. Both of these need to be true. No, I guess both of them don't need to be true. I guess they would be true, though. Our minimum would need to be less than their maximum for our maximum even potentially be greater than. I don't know if I'm ever actually validating that maximum and minimum are correct. I should probably do that in a constructor. We're going to say if minimum is greater than maximum, we're going to throw a new argument exception. I feel like I want that safety check. Now this overlap, fine. I don't think that means anything, but it makes me feel better. I don't know if changing that meant anything. No, it explicitly didn't do anything. It did make me feel better. All right. Why is it only left to right movement that causes this? Why does up down movement not do this? What is the difference between up down movement and side to side movement? Something weird about this. This specific act of going side to side. Maybe we're iterating the wrong boundary. Maybe we should be iterating. No, we want to be iterating through the prior boundary, and I feel like that's what we're doing. Is there something weird happening where we're like jumping? When we go diagonally, it's likely that we jump here and then here. So that doesn't seem to cause the problem. I think the problem might only be happening when we make a diagonal move. Like when we're here and then the cursor reads us immediately at like some diagonal jumping point like this. I think that's what's causing the problem. Because there doesn't seem to be any problem if we are going up or down on the grid. The problem only seems to be happening when we make a diagonal jump. Yeah, I just did it right there. So that's the source of the problem, I would wager. Hydrate, Dime Novel Hero. Thank you. Happy Friday. We're on a bug hunt. We're on a very peculiar bug hunt today. And we're also dealing with an NVIDIA driver regression of some kind. Where I updated my driver and now we're getting these weird anti-aliasing on everything. Maybe the Godot optimized settings for the driver are like wrong now. I guess we could check that. Graphics. It's only happening in Godot. Program settings. I don't know where I would even put this. No, I don't have a build. I would need to put the Godot engine version. I need to put like this in here. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna roll back after the stream. Killing bugs. Is this democracy? It's close. More of a tyranny, but whatever. That's because I'm a tyrant in my own kingdom. As one does. Yeah, there's a weird thing that happens when we make it so like if I go up and down like a square, if I do this and I'm only going up and down like this along a line, we don't have any problems. If I'm only going up and down like this in a line, we don't have any problems. Even if I go up and down like this, basically any up down movement is fine. But when we make these diagonal jumps, we're leaving blocks behind. So there's something funky happening when we make these diagonal jumps. So we gotta fix that. We have to handle that exact case. Try to understand why. I think I sort of am starting to see why this might be happening. In my mind's eye. D-Gorp, greetings. Welcome in. How's it going? We're working on a FTL-like, kind of an isometric 3D take on FTL, Faster Than Light. We're doing some bug hunting with our tile editor because we have a tile editor to help us build these ships. And we're encountering some bugs. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. So I think the way that I'm going to test this most concretely is to just record the cursor. We're just going to debug the cursor chords. Right line. And we're going to look to see if we can find some diagonal jumps. You're good? That's good. All right, let's look for some diagonal jumps. So we got 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 2. 3, 2 to 6, 5. Oof. 6.5 to 8.6, 8.6 to 9.6, 10.6 to 10.7, 10.7 to 6.10. Yeah, we're doing some crazy jumps. I'm actually kind of shocked that we're able to make such high jumps in each frame. That seems weird. But what doesn't make sense to me is we should always be cleaning up after ourselves. Reveal inactive blocks. For each set of coords in bounds.get non-overlapping. What if we just took out this check here? What if instead of this, we just try to like super aggressively reveal inactive blocks as often as possible? Oh, what if the problem is we're doing the reveal second? That shouldn't be it. But I'm willing to try pretty much anything at this point. Okay, that didn't do anything. Oops. What if we reverse the order of these actions? That shouldn't do anything, but I'm willing to try anything. Yeah, okay, it didn't. What if we just really aggressively did this? Okay. Well, that gets rid of the issue. It's like the slowest way to do this, but we're doing a lot of extra work now, but it is consistent. And basically what it's doing is every frame, it's removing all of the blocks from last frame and placing all the blocks from this frame or from this move. It's not doing this every frame, I should be clear. But it's basically saying like, basically if we're here and then we move to here, it basically gets rid of all of these blocks and then places all of these blocks. You can see how there's like a lot of unnecessary work we're doing. Because the only blocks that actually need to change are like a very small number of blocks on the outside. But we weren't doing it successfully before, so that was the problem. So let's dig into that. So essentially we aren't aggressively going through this. What if we change? What if we say this? I think it's possible that our reveal inactive blocks function is not behaving correctly. Yeah. Okay, so the inactive blocks thing is not working. It's not giving us back the blocks, the set of blocks that we are expecting. Prior bounds, new bounds, buffer. I want to do like a check. I want to do like a, I want to say like if, I want to say like for each block, for each block in hidden blocks dot values, keys, for each vector 3i hidden, for each hidden key and hidden keys, now we'll just say each key. For each key, this is temporary. This is like a debug test. For each key in hidden blocks.keys, we want to ask if prior bounds and closes key. We want to say if not prior bounds dot encloses key, debug dot write line towards key is not within bounds. I'm very curious. I know for a fact that this is going to turn out true. I'm just curious about. Actually, I guess I don't know for sure, but I have a very strong suspicion that we're going to be getting. Yeah, look at this. Oh, there's so many of these. So 10.2.0 is not within bounds. 2.2.0 through 9.8.0. 10.3.0 is not within 2.2.0, 9.8.0. And 4.0 is not within 2.2.0, 9.8.0. Ooh, this is rough. 7.7.0 is not within 2.2.0, 6.11.0. This is very strange. When we go from 9.8, when we go from 9.8, 7.10, we have a bunch of hidden. So this is like these are the rows. Okay, so when we get to 11.6, so 11.5 to 11.6, we've basically marked out all of that. We basically marked out from 2.2 to 11.6. Actually, we've marked from at least from 2.2 to 11.6, possibly up to 9.8. Now a bunch of these like 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, 10.5, 11.2, 11.3, 11.4, 11.5. So a bunch of columns or rows, depending on how you want to think about it. I guess these are rows. So we've got a bunch of rows here that were marked that are no longer within these bounds that we've set. I'm gonna try this again with like a much smaller start test area. So we're gonna place a block. We're gonna go up here. We're gonna go across here. There. I did it right at the end there. Oh. We should have been warned about that. We're basically not cleaning up correctly. And I think we can get there, because I would like to get there rather than just completely reset the whole thing every frame. So if I swap this to reveal blocks in, this should also solve the problem. Yeah, so we don't have the problem now. So weird. I mean, I should just do it this way because this way is incredibly robust. It's just we're doing a lot of extra work. And I wonder if it's like slow. It looks like the answer is it's not slow at all. And so I was doing a more complicated process to save ourselves some work here. I feel like maybe I just shouldn't bother because clearly this is not a performance intensive activity. Like I'm not having a problem even setting this entire volume of blocks. And it's incredibly robust. So I guess we just do it this way and we just eat the extra cost. Can't find a way to do it differently. Makes me concerned that there's actually a problem with some of my AABB functionality. Like I'm a little concerned that my get non-overlapping process is wrong. Concerning. Is our enclosure check wrong, maybe? It can't be right. That seems right. Our minimum is less than or equal to their minimum. There's something weird happening for exactly this case. For exactly the case of like, so what are some colors that will mix together well? Blue, we can get blue and red. So if we have this, if I basically do like this, so if this is a boundary and this is a boundary, we can call this the overlapping area of their boundaries. So this area, if this area becomes this area, here are our number lines, just like here. Something weird happening when we make this diagonal movement across. So we basically go from, so this one is like, so we have 0 and 1. So we're basically going from 1, 0. We're going from 1, 0 to 0, 1. So let's validate some of my checks. So overlap check. So for this one, its minimum point is 0, 0, and its maximum point is 1, 0. This one, its minimum point is 0, 0, and its maximum point is 0, 1. Oh, okay. This is probably wrong. Make your own AABB, they said. It'd be easy, they said. Nobody said this, by the way. So here's our one bounding box. Here's our other bounding box. Basically, when the maximum point moves from one quadrant to the other quadrant, something weird happens. So our minimum, each of our minimums, so our minimum is 0, 0, 0, 0. So that passes this check of our minimum is less than or equal to. Well, our minimum is less than or equal to the other's maximum, and our maximum is greater than or equal to the other's minimum. Both of those pass. Where are my operator comparers? Here we go. Where do I implement? Where do I implement compare to? Here we go. So if z is not equal to other.z, then we compare the z. So if your z's are greater, the z's are identical, we compare the y's. So our y's aren't equal. And then so, oh, is this why it only happens in one direction, maybe? Raining pretty good out there. That's nice. We'll compare our y to the other's y, and then I'll compare our x to the other's x. So our y is less than this one's y. So let's say these are our prior coords, this the x one here, and we'll say this is our new boundary. So we're like, we want to erase everything in this boundary that's not also in this boundary. This is the smallest reproducible case of this issue that I can imagine. And it actually might not even be the exact case we're dealing with, but this is my feeling. We're dealing with this on a large level. It is possible that somehow we're jumping multiple coordinates and we're like, there are coordinates outside of this prior boundaries. No, that's not true. We can verify that that's not true because we're doing this. So we're saying if hidden blocks.count is greater than 0, reveal all of the blocks in the prior boundaries. So we're doing this, and that's solved the issue. I don't want to do that. Yeah, that's solved the issue. I don't want to do that because that's a lot of effort. We're basically we're basically resetting everything in this square and then redrawing the vast majority of it, which again, it's performant enough that I shouldn't care. But I need to know that my AABB boundary comparisons work because I use these. I use these in other places. So we have a fundamental problem in that comparison. So here we're saying our minimum less than or equal to their maximum, and is our maximum greater than or equal to their minimum. And so how this would work in practice, we're doing this get non-overlapping. So we have our boundary, we have the other boundary. The first thing we ask is, do we overlap the other AABB? And to do that, we do this overlap check. So we're going to go through and we're going to validate this function. And this is the first check. Is our minimum less than or equal to their maximum? And is our maximum greater than or equal to their minimum? So is our minimum less than or equal to? So we're asking is 0, 0 less than 0, 1. That will return true. And then we're asking, is our maximum greater than or equal to their minimum, 1, 0 to 0, 0. That will also return true. So the overlap seems to be fine. Bryson, you should write up some simple function that unit tests your recs in basic use cases. This is the basic use case. It's just print statements. I don't like doing that. If I was a test-driven kind of person, I would do that all over the place. Problem is I'm very visual, so I can debug some stuff with a print statement. It's not a bad idea. It's a good idea, Ryson. If I'm not understanding something, so I've obviously written it incorrectly. To understand it correctly, I need to like visualize it. I mean, like, yeah, we could write a unit test that sends in 2 coordinates, and we know what the result should be, and we validate that we get the correct result out of get non-overlapping. That would be the correct thing to do. I could just do this check that way. And honestly, that's what I should do. But I'm kind of tired. And I want to understand this. All right. So I'm satisfied that overlaps works. What's the next step of this process? Next step of this process. Kind of tired today too. It's raining here too. Nice. Yeah, it's a good combination. I'm like ready to be done with my day. I got a few more hours of work to do. I'll be better tomorrow. I'll sleep in. I'll wake up and we'll do some cool design stuff tomorrow. Kind of a slow day. Seems like it's a slow day on Twitch and YouTube as well. I'm all right with. Sometimes it's nice because like a lot of people will come in and I'll have a lot of energy and it'll be a very vibrant, interesting stream. And then sometimes those two things don't match up. Either a lot of people come in and I'm tired, or nobody comes in and I'm like having a great day. And this is the other case, which is like very few people are here, but it's okay because I'm really tired. So let's slow walk. Let's just slow walk into the weekend. You got to install a dishwasher for your sister tomorrow. You are a very nice brother. I don't know if I would do that for my sister. I'd be like, get a professional. Leandro, you mean it's Friday after all? It is Friday after all. How's it going, Leandro? So now we want to make sure the encloses. The other encloses this. So the encloses check. This is the only other place it could be, is this enclosure function. Unless the problem is just somewhere else. Which is our minimum less than or equal to their minimum? And I think this might be the rub here. Is our maximum greater than or equal to their maximum? I feel like this is where the problem is. Because I'm realizing if their y component is greater than our y component, then this is going to return true regardless of anything else. I wrote my enclosure check very poorly. Partly because I wrote my vector comparison check very poorly. So going back to our little test case here, is our minimum, which is this, less than or equal to their minimum, which is also this, which is 0, 0. I actually should put this here, shouldn't I? Put this here. Actually, I should make some more room. I need to start diagramming stuff more often in Sprite. I know a lot of people use Leonardo and stuff like that, or Paint. Kind of like doing it in Sprite. It's a little harder sometimes if I want to write stuff out, which is why we should be using Obsidian. All right, so, but here's the trick. So we're satisfied that our minimums evaluate to being equal. But here's the problem. Our maximum, is our maximum greater than or equal to their maximum? Where are we doing this enclosure check from? From here. Other dot, oh, if other dot encloses us. Right. So is the other maximum greater than ours? Greater than or equal to ours? Here's the problem, and I think this is the core of the problem. The other is this guy. This guy is 0, 1. Maximum is 0, 1. Our maximum is 1, 0. Because of how my compare function works, my compare function goes from z to y to x. Leandro resubscribed with Prime. Thank you, Leandro. Thank you for getting us 75% of the way to our sub goal for the month. We got reasonably close. I know, it's been 4 months. It's crazy. Time is going fast. I think my affiliate anniversary will be in like April. It's only a few months away. You like to draw with a pencil. I think that's good. I don't like drawing with a pencil mainly because I can't draw. Aren't those supposed to be rect? They don't have to be, Bryson. I think I can capture the essence of the problem with just 2 lines. Because all we're really comparing is the minimum and the maximum and the other maximum. So I let myself get distracted again, but the other's maximum is 0, 1 and our maximum is 1, 0. So the way my compare to function looks is it would compare the z coordinates, of which there are none. It would compare the y coordinates. And it would say, oh, your y coordinate is greater than this one's y coordinate. You're greater than us. And then it ignores the x coordinate. And that's why we're only seeing this problem in one direction, depending on where the anchor point is. And that is why we're only seeing the problem like this. As we move to the y. So as we do this, it's leaving stuff behind. Kind of incredible it doesn't do it this way. Or this way even. Yeah, so it's erroneously coming to the conclusion that the new bounding box fully encloses the old bounding box. And it figures it out and it concludes that for the wrong reason. So I need a different vector 3i comparison check. This is ours. Let's go look and see what Godot uses. I think Godot did something which didn't make sense to me at the time, so I didn't do it. But it's probably the way you're supposed to do this. Let's go find the compare to. Compare. Are you not comparable, y'all? Are y'all not comparable? I equatable, vector 3i. I guess vectors shouldn't be I comparable. I comparable vector 3. I think I've failed to grasp an issue here of doing vector math. Does vector 3 have an I comparable interface? And what do your comparison operators do? Oh, no, you do implement oh no, that's me again. What do you do? What do you do when someone wants to compare a vector to another vector? Could have sworn you implemented this. This is like basically what I do, isn't it? So this just sorts the vectors. This isn't a true comparison check. I need to do something else. Oh, do we have doors now? We totally do, Leandro. We can take a minute. We can pause for a moment and glorify the existence of the doors. We are having a weird graphical issue right now that we're blaming the latest NVIDIA driver for. Oh, this is hilarious. We overlap the palette. I need to change the palette to be higher up. Also, we shouldn't be doing this on this layer. We need to go down a layer. Hilarious. We added doors back. So we can select our little door in our tool. We can put a single door. We can put a double door. We can do interior doors as well. God, that whatever that anti-aliasing thing that's happening is horrible. It's not even anti-aliasing. It's like aliasing straight lines. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, we got doors back. We haven't implemented the triple door because I need to redraw the triple door a little bit. I actually need to redraw all the doors a little bit, but the triple door especially needs to be reworked. All right, so here's their comparator. I think it's identical to mine, except it works in reverse. It says, if left is not equal to right, return left.x is less than or right.x. Weird that it's just returning a bool rather than the actual compare to result. What am I doing? So I'm returning an int in the compare to. So this is just useful for sorting vectors. And I like to sort my vectors z first. Z then y then x. Which I get is like maybe not normal. But this actually isn't useful for helping us determine if AABB encloses another AABB. So let's go up to our operator here. Bool less than. Okay, so we here's the compare to. So if we're less than the other, we just say if left.compare to is less than 0, or is left.compare to greater than 0. Here we say is left.compare to less than or equal to 0. Left compare to right greater than or equal to 0. So this is not gonna work for what I'm trying to do. So that can be used for sorting. So they do left non blah blah. Then otherwise return left is equal to y. If it is, then return z is less than right. Blah, blah. Otherwise, just do left. Yeah, this is basically what I do, just in a slightly different way. My way is less efficient. But yeah, our problem is as soon as we have a y coordinate that's greater than another y coordinate, we're like, oh, you're greater than the other one. So we're favoring the higher dimensions, which I think is fine, especially in the case of the z. Like if we're like asking if a coordinate is above another coordinate, then obviously if it's z is greater, the answer is yes. But like, yeah, we can't just use that sorting pattern to determine if an AABB encloses another AABB, because that is turning out to be wrong. Because here maximum is greater than or equal to other dot maximum. In this case is returning true, because this one's maximum is 0, 1, which is greater than 1, 0, according to our vector sorting pattern. And so the AABB is like, oh, you enclose you. And it's short-circuiting our check, because if the other AABB is understood to enclose us, we just return an empty list. God, I wonder how our... I wonder if we can use a clamp system like we do for... Because our AABB enclosure check for a vector works, which is just... If you clamp the coordinates between our minimum and maximum, does it change? We should just be using that here. Why did I try to come up with something else? I'm insane. Leandra, how did the animation go? Fix the outlines? Yeah, I'm working on it. It's incredibly tedious, so I haven't been doing it on stream. But I started doing it, and then I basically decided that I want the doors... I've basically decided that I want the doors to not be inset anymore. I want to widen the doors so that they're flush with the wall for a number of reasons. Doesn't solve all my problems, but We'll solve some of them. So I need to change the door sprites, and I think I'm just going to try to draw them correctly, like with multiple layers where like the door frame is one layer and then what's beneath the door frame is another layer, so that it's like really easy to change. I'm going to basically do the things that people have been yelling at me to do the whole time. So I need to make some changes to the doors, and I figure I should just do that off stream because it's pretty tedious and mildly embarrassing. All right, I want to rewrite this enclosure check as a clamp. Can we do that? So can we just say, can we basically say, we would ask, so to do an enclosure check, we would ask, if we enclose the other one, if we fully enclose the other one, then if we clamp them, it will not be the same. So we would say other dot clamp this. Oh, does that not work? Oh no, other dot clamp this. So we clamp it by us. Oh no, so a clamp, so it would be, does that equal other? Is this it? Oh, we just want to check, is other equivalent to other dot clamp this? This should be correct. I don't know why I even wrote that the other way. That made no sense. This might help. Because if we enclose the other one, if we try to clamp the other one, that causes zero change. Causes no change. We might have just fixed it. Emphasis on might have. All right, we fixed it. Yeah, our process for determining whether another vector or another AAB was enclosing the other one was wrong. And it's right now, and now we're not leaving ghosts. We're not leaving orphans. You never doubted? I might have doubted a little bit. Huzzah. All right, well, we didn't do any of what I was planning to do today, which was the undo redo. But at least I'm not going to work on that tomorrow because, like I said, I want to do a design stream where we think about design stuff and just kind of, you know, just kick back and like think about some of the design implications of this being a turn-based game, turn-based tactics game. We'll make a big obsidian canvas board. We'll do some diagramming. Probably grab a bunch of images and videos and web pages and throw them all in there. We'll think about like, oh, do we want to use a timeline? What will the timeline look like? Like, what are some of the issues that I don't like with turn-based tactics games? What do I like? What is the promise of FTL? And like, how are we going to fulfill that promise? What's the promise of a turn-based tactics game? Like, we're going to think about we're going to try to think about a lot of stuff tomorrow. I think it's going to be good. All right, I don't need to change any of these codes because this code is right. It just depended on an enclosure check that was wrong. Now that the enclosure check is correct, we have no problems. Well, we don't have these problems. We have other problems. Less than or equal to cool. Where is this print statement? I know where it is. At least I thought I knew. Oh yeah, it's right here. Get rid of that. We'll do the undo redo stuff. I'll work on that early next week before we stream on Tuesday. And so hopefully I'll have a framework for how we'll do undo redo. We're really close with doors, and then with undo redo, we've basically equaled the old tile map editor. I also have some ideas for how to add in the new these new shapes, these like more decorative shapes. There's some tricks that I need to resolve as far as like how to determine which one the middle hull is. Some tricks that we need to figure out, but we'll get there soon. We also need to do handle the zoom out functionality, about how we can zoom out and look at a smaller version of the ship. We need to handle that too. A half scale version of the ship. Can't believe this diagram actually helped me. I'm sure a unit test would have helped me more. All right. I think I'm going to wrap it up for today. I'm going to cue the music. Said confidently. It's been a reasonable stream. We spotted a bug and then fixed it. It only took the entire stream, but oops. It was kind of a good activity for kind of a low energy day, honestly. Take it easy. Thanks, Ryson. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing. You as well. Lift with your knees when you're installing that dishwasher, right? Don't throw out your back. We're getting to that age where you can just even look at something wrong and you throw out your back. I've woken up on the wrong side of the bed and thrown out my back. So, take care. Take it easy. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.